Hey, Expert Secrets Book Review. My name is Judd Albring from Dad's Gone Digital, helping dads get off the couch and online to find their purpose and change their lives by starting a business from home, a business they can call their own, a real business that provides value and purpose and meaning, and also helps them make a little bit of money on the side. So, the Expert Secrets Book Review, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, there's 4 sections of the book. I'm going to go through, don't worry, I'm not going to go through the entire book, but I'm going to go through each section and just kind of pull out some of the main key things in there, what they are and how you can apply them to your life right now, how I apply them to my business, because they have absolutely changed my life and the way I do business, and it's helped me grow my business and really think outside the box. It's also given me a lot of belief in myself and my abilities, so it's fantastic. So the Expert Secret Review, we're going to go over the 4 sections. Let's go into it now. So, and you can see here, I mean, I notes and notes and notes and highlights, and it's crazy. But the first section, the main one, is about creating your mass movement. And really what this is finding, I like to think of it as like self-discovery, because it's really helping me find out who I am and what are my skills and who I am as a person, right? And it teaches you about becoming the charismatic leader, or the attractive character. And I don't mean attractive like Fabio attractive, but somebody that people want to work with, somebody that people want to be with. And we all have that inside of us. It's just a matter of bringing that out. And what's crazy is when I started reading this book, I had no idea what I was going to do, where I was going to go, but I knew I wanted to do something. And when I started reading this book, what I really discovered from the first section, creating your mass movement, is, I knew, let me take a step back. I actually didn't know. I knew a lot about computers. I've known a lot about sales and customer service and things like that, but I knew I didn't want to go back to the 9-to-5 world. I worked for Fortune 500 companies for years, and I knew I didn't want to do that. I knew I wanted to do something, but I didn't really know what it was. I didn't want to just sell a product. I didn't want to just pick up the phone and be like a coach. I wanted to provide value, and I wanted to provide it online. And I wanted to love what I was doing most of all, because if I don't love what I'm doing, I'm not going to do it every single day. So this helped me really find out who I am and what I'm about. And so the attractive character for me is, I use a lot of humor. I'm also somebody who, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober for 12 years. So I talk a lot about my struggles with drinking and how my life has changed since then. And that becomes my attractive character. People relate to me, not whether they've had a drinking problem or not, but maybe they've had other problems in their lives. So it helps me attract, other people. So when I've started to break out of my shell and be more honest about who I am and where I come from and the troubles I've gone through to get where I am, it helps people relate with me. It helps people connect with me. It helps people know, like, and trust me and want to work with me. So that's really what the main thing I took out of this section is figuring out who I am, what I'm about, what I stand for, who I want to serve. And from that, what it also talks about in here is it helps me to create that new opportunity, right? So I'm literally discovering who I am and how I can be of service to people and how I can make money from doing that, which is great. And if you're somebody who's not looking to make money from it, it's great too, right? Maybe it's a nonprofit or church organization. So section 2 is all about creating belief, right? And one of the main things in here is there's so many great secrets, obviously, but the main thing that I like is what's called the Epiphany Bridge. So if you're not familiar with Russell Brunson and his concepts and how he teaches, Epiphany Bridge is similar to what we call story selling. That's what I like to call it. And the Epiphany Bridge is really telling your story, right? What got you to where you are now? And the Epiphany is the part of the story, right, where, if you watch any movie, right, there's the attractive character, which we just talked about, who goes on this journey, and somewhere along that journey, he hits a wall, he has some pushback, but then he overcomes it, and at the end of the movie, right, we fall in love with that character. They either achieve something great, or maybe they didn't get what they wanted, but they got what they need, kind of thing. So in telling that Epiphany Bridge story and sharing that with others, it gets people to relate with me and understand, like, wow, I had similar story. It doesn't have to be the exact, like I said before, it doesn't have to be the exact struggle, but they've somewhere, somehow along the line have experienced that same kind of pain, that same kind of struggle. And in doing that Epiphany Bridge, I'm showing them, hey, this is what happened to me. This is the wall I hit, and this is how I overcame that wall by doing X, Y, and Z. Right? I'm creating that belief that it is possible for them, it's possible for you to do what I'm doing. So I love that part. And it goes into a bunch of other different secrets. The hero's journey, which is similar to the Epiphany Bridge, talking about your journey, and you become the hero at the end, right? Because what you accomplish. So a lot of really great stuff. And this is written for, this is no offense to Russell Brunson, but like anything else, it's written very simply, very clear. A 5-year-old, right, can read it. The concepts are not, there's nothing in here that you're going to hear a word that you've never heard before. So it's really, really great. And then on to section 3, we start to get more into kind of growing your business. And what's really cool about this book, what I love, guys, is this is not techno-babble, mumbo-jumbo. This isn't talking about, okay, you need to type in here to do this, or you need to have this. You don't have to have any online experience. You don't have to have any marketing, any kind of experience at all. I didn't when I started this. I didn't know anything. I knew how to send emails. I knew how to text. So it's not about that. Don't worry about that. This is not about getting on the computer and building stuff. This is about creating your message, because the software portion in the computer, that's such a small part. It's everything that goes behind the scenes that builds this platform, that builds this tribe that you're creating, that builds this mass movement to get people to want to buy, right? To want to work with you. So in section 3, Russell talks about 2 things I want to talk about, is his perfect webinar and the one thing. So the perfect webinar is, if you're not familiar with the perfect webinar, you need to look it up. I'll see if I have some stuff I can put below this video for you guys to check it out. But the perfect webinar, if you're familiar with webinar, the perfect webinar is not just, even though webinar is in the title, you can use the perfect webinar concept to literally to sell anywhere, to sell from Facebook Live, to sell on YouTube, to sell from the stage, and of course in a webinar. It is designed to take people through a series of steps to kind of take their belief patterns, break them, and build them up. So it's like, for me, it's like, oh, I can't lose, for example, weight loss. I can't lose weight because I'm 46 years old and my body's getting old and flabby. And then, the perfect webinar is a perfect example of saying, are you one of those people that thinks you can't lose weight because of this, this, and this? Well, let me show you how I did it. Okay, so that might be an example there, and that's a very small example, but it's really getting people to kind of open up and realize, you know what, I can do that. I do realize that. So there's this whole structure of the way it goes, the way you're telling your story, and you're taking your Epiphany Bridge story, you're taking all these things that build up to this perfect webinar to help you take people on this journey, ultimately to get them to buy what you have or join your group or get on your email list. And the one thing concept is really the whole top of the iceberg for that webinar. So what's the one thing that I want them to believe, to understand by the end of my webinar? And for me, it would be that it's possible for stay-at-home dads or dads in general who want to leave their 9-to-5. It is possible for them to start a business online and to do it today and without any money. And here's how you're going to do it. So that's the one thing that I want them to know at the end of this webinar, and it shows you how to structure that, how to do that, and that's just insanely powerful. And then lastly, let's see here, is the one thing that I really like at the end is talking about, taking all these, everything you kind of learn in the concepts in the book and creating a launch formula. So, which is really great. So if you're, again, that's back to that know, like, and trust. People don't know much about you or your products, your concepts. And building that Epiphany launch sequence is taking people through a series of, whether it be videos or blog posts, and it's building up that excitement. So it's kind of like a cliffhanger. You watch a soap opera, and and it's about to cut to commercial, and you're like, oh man, I wanted to know, who she's sleeping with, and then you got to wait and you got to see it. That's kind of like building a product launch sequence where you show them one portion and then they just can't wait to see the next and so on. So the Epiphany product launch funnel is what it talks about in there. And if you're not familiar with the concept of funnels, then you definitely need to try ClickFunnels software. You can do it for free. You can try it for 14 days free. That's what I did over a year ago, and I haven't. I mean, I use it 24 hours, 7 days a week. I mean, it runs my entire business, runs my membership site for my clients. It runs, I have a training videos up there, lead generation, product sales, you name it, email automation. If you have products or services and you want affiliates to promote for you, you can do that on there. So all kind of crazy stuff. But Expert Secrets, guys, review. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it was pretty cut, pretty short and sweet, but I really just wanted to give you some of the main, key principles. And there's so much in here, guys. But I'm telling you right now, whatever you do, if you have an idea buzzing in your head and you don't know how to get it out, and you want to get it out, and you know it's something great, and you want to do something, even if you've had an idea and you're like, nobody really wants that, or nobody's going to like, that's silly. Trust me, read this book. It's going to open up your eyes. It really is. It changed my life. So thank you so much, guys. Expert Secrets Review. I'm Judd Albring with Dad's Gone Digital. If you like this, like, comment, share, whatever that stuff is on here, subscribe. Again, the links are below for you to get a free trial and also get a free copy of this book. All right, guys, take care.